Hey guys, it's Joy and I'm back with a different kind of video than usual. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a book review on the book Graceling, which if you remember, I got this back in 2019 when I had to go through surgery for my uterus. I had to have a D&C, and a friend sent me this kind of as a little thinking of you gift, and I just finally finished it. I had started at the time, then misplaced it, and then I reread it starting at the end of last year, and I think it was the end of last year. And I only read a couple chapters a week, and so I wasn't getting through it very fast. It is a 39 plus an epilogue chapters in it. It is the first in a series. There is at least 2 more books, and I'm planning to buy those today. So Graceling by Kristen K. Short was really good. The main character, Katza, I'm going to say is her name, kind of reminded me of the person that sent this to me. Doesn't really need anybody else to take care of her, doesn't need to be treated like a lady. She wants to be treated equally. She doesn't feel that, women shouldn't be able to protect themselves and all that, which is how this person is and how I kind of am too a little bit. I don't believe women need somebody else to protect them. They can protect themselves. So, she is called a lady because her uncle is the king of one of the kingdoms. There's 7 kingdoms, I think. 7 kingdoms, and there's the map telling the kingdoms and how it all lays out. And she meets a prince from one of the other kingdoms and becomes friends with him. And she never plans to marry and everything. And she never thinks she's going to fall in love, but basically she kind of does. And it's kind of their journey to go rescue his cousin. After they've met once before. And they're both what's called Gracelings. And the way you know a Graceling is by their eyes. They have 2 different colored eyes. And a Graceling has gifts. So like she's gifted in fighting. She can kill a person quickly. Doesn't take her but a second to kill him, basically. But she's usually able to rein it in. She doesn't like having the grace she has. He's graced with other gifts, but he's also a very skilled fighter because of the kingdom he comes from. That's something they value. And it's just really cool. It's their friendship and how they help out his cousin to escape her father. And basically the story of the long journey they have to go to take care of this young girl. So I really liked it. It's very kind of magical in some ways, and it's kind of like a little bit of a... I'm trying to think what books I can most identify it to. I was looking to see what they identified it to here because I was looking to see if I agree. And it's kind of a learning how to master oneself and what's going on, coming of age in a way. It's just kind of I really don't know how to describe this book. It's a fantasy. Yeah, it's a fantasy. And it takes you into another world, basically. And yet, it feels like this world could take place like in the ancient times here in our current world. It feels like it could be set in the past and been like a group of people from before our time, kind of thing. But yeah, it also has a little bit of magical elements to it that, things that feel a little more magical. And I kind of liked her cousin in the book, her cousin, Raffian. There was something about him I just kind of felt like, I think if I'm not mistaken, Raffian might be, I'm trying to think what I'm trying to, he's kind of like a little bit of a chemist. He loves to play with chemicals and stuff, and he is kind of like his cousin and doesn't really plan to marry, kind of thing, but for a different reason, but by the sounds of it. His dad doesn't approve of him in a lot of ways. And so I kind of just, the characters are well done. One of her characters' names is Poe, and when you read the afterward, you find out that she found out after she was writing the second book, that Poe in German meant something different than what she thought it meant. And so then she kept laughing about that after that. So, definitely a good read if you like fantasies. So, Graceling, Kristen K. Shore, and I hope that helped you guys understand the book a little bit. I did enjoy it. I'm grateful for the friend that sent it to me. I'm going to get the Bitter Blue one to read next, because that's the next one in the series. And then I want to read Fire too, I think. I want to at least read one more of them, because I'm kind of curious to see what happens to Bitter Blue. Bitter Blue is the cousin's name, by the way. So, yeah, they have some interesting names. I have no clue where this author even thought up some of these names. The names were a little more tricky in this book, I will say that, than any other book I think I've ever read. It's like, really? What? Bitter Blue? Rappian? O-L-L? Gideon? Poe? What else was it? But yeah, there's a lot of Randa, Helda. Some of them were pretty simple. I will say I kept it in my bag off and on, and I accidentally tore a couple of the pages, so I was really upset with myself there. But I taped them back together. I got them taped. I'm not mean to books normally, but sometimes they get so loved. Mom didn't get this one read to her. I tried to at first, and that Mom was getting bored with it. It wasn't my mom's type of book. And it was just hard for her to follow, was biggest problem with it. And it really is a little bit slow the first bit, until I can't remember about where it started picking up. I think it was around chapter 4 or 5. Usually I find a lot of books that start really slow. About chapter 4 or 5 is where I start really getting into them. So I try to give a book at least 4 chapters. Now, if it's super, super crazy and I don't like it, I've had one book where I quit at chapter 2. I had one book where I almost quit, then I decided to give it another chance. I got to chapter 4 and it picked up and I ended up enjoying the book. So, I mean, like, I try to give books at least 4 chapters before I give up on them. But sometimes that doesn't happen. It's very rare that I quit before chapter 4. Now, this one I quit, I think, chapter 6 the first time around. And then I went back and I read it again and I did make it all the way through. Now, if you're a quicker reader, this definitely, back when I was working in summer camp, I went through like 4 or 5 of these books in a summer. I could do this easily. But as a caregiver, my time is more, depends on when when I'm not busy taking care of my mom, I'm also really tired a lot, and I don't really have the energy to read or the ambition to read as much. So I'm a little slower at reading now than I used to be. I used to read, like I said, 4 or 5 of these in a summer would be nothing. I could get even more than that in the summer, depending on how good the books were. But yeah, if I would have been reading this in summer when I was working at summer camp, I probably would have had the series done, or at least been on the last one before I left for home. So, because the last summer, I think one summer at camp, I don't remember what year it was, I was never going to read the series Hunger Games. I was never going to read it. My family, my sister, my niece both tried to talk me into it. No, I don't want to get into another series, And my friend at camp, all my friends at camp were talking about it and everything. And finally, my one friend the one that sent me this, she loaned me the first book, we were talking about it, so I went and ordered the first book, had Mom send it up to me. And I read it, and it was really good. My friend found out that I was reading it, and she goes, yeah, I'll have to get the second one. She goes, well, you can borrow mine. So I borrowed hers, read the second one, and then I was getting ready to leave for the summer, and I was on the third book, and my one friend who was from England, she was going to donate hers to the bin that we had up at the front of up by the warehouse. At the end of summer, anything you don't want, you can donate there, and then they just take and donate it to different locations if they can't use it for camp. And because she didn't want to lug it home again, so she gave me the third book. So I got the third book. But then when we went up to the boxes, we found that the second book and the third book were in paperback, also from England, because there's just slight difference in their version versus our version. Here in the U.S., I should say, because I know somebody that's over in that area. But not enough to even, it wasn't even like language or anything. I don't know what the difference is, because I really didn't notice any difference, but it does have like the markings that says it's from the UK or whatever. And so I got the paperbacks, put her hardback, because she had a hardback of the third book. I put it in the book box. I said, I'm going to take the paperback because I prefer paperbacks. And she goes, okay, that's great, So I ended up having 2 of the copies that I got for free and 1 that I had paid for myself of the Hunger Games. But I had gotten through 2 of them at camp, along with a bunch of other books that I was reading at camp that summer. So if that gives you any indication of how books work for me, Mom and I are working on an Alien series right now. It's a kids' books by Henry Winkler, who is an actor, producer, whatever. And he's like big in Hollywood, been big in the entertainment industry for many, many years. But they're really kind of cute stories. And so we're on the second book of that. But last week I had some bad days with my health-wise, so we didn't get hardly anything read last week. Actually, it was more Mom was having bad days. So that does slow us down on reading. And I'm taking a break for a week or 2 on my reading from my health, the holistic medicine guidance stuff that I do. The books on that. I just finished 2. One I finished the week before last, and the other one I finished last week. Now I'm going to take a week or 2, and then I'm going to pick out 2 more to work on. Just because I feel like sometimes taking a break is what I need to do to get my mindset back into go with those books. I have a ton of them stockpiled, and I still keep buying more. But I am reading them as fast as I can. I am downsizing a little bit on books, too, so I have a next book I'm going to be finishing for myself is Life and Death, which is a Twilight Reimagined book. It's right here. This is the next book I'm going to be finishing. I started it while reading this one, but then I wanted to get that one done. So I put this one on hold because I wasn't getting very far. So this is Life and Death, Twilight Reimagined. It was the 10th anniversary. It's kind of interesting so far, but I don't know. I like the Twilight series, but I also am like, meh. It's not like my all-time favorite book series. It was for a while. I did love it, really love it, but it's kind of not as big of a topic for me. But I do want to read that. Series I've done is Harry Potter, Twilight, Divergent, and now I'm working on the Graceling series. And there's another series I want to start that Mindy's going to loan me the book for, and that's The Red Queen, which she had loaned me once before, and I was going to try to do it. But it didn't work out at the time. And I think it was because during that time, I think Mom was dealing with her cancer, and I think I was just not in the right mindset for it. But now I think I could probably handle it a little bit more. So I have a few books planned for the next couple books I want to read. And if you guys have suggestions for books I should read, let me know. Based off of what I've told you so far about my reading styles. One of my friends recommended a book called Verity. And I have it, and I'm going to read that. But I do want to get Life and Death done. Songbird from the Hunger Games, I want to get that one done. And then I'm going to do Verity, I think, after that. So it's like 3rd on my list. And I'm hoping that I will try to keep doing at least 2 chapters a week. As I get closer to the end of books, I tend to up the number of chapters because I will get more and more curious. It starts picking really up toward the end, and it's like, I can't wait to find out what happens. Last week, I actually wasn't supposed to finish this till the end of this week. Last week, I finished this on Easter Sunday. I read through a couple extra chapters, and then toward the end of the week I kept pushing myself because I'm like, I only have like 3 chapters left, let's do it, and like the epilogue, whatever. And so I was like, kept pushing through. And then last night when we got in bed, which was Easter Sunday, after we did Mass and everything, I was shut off the TV and I read because I was having a little bit of acid reflux problems. My GERD was acting up. So I finished reading this before I went to sleep. And it was interesting. So I'm glad I got to finish that. Now I'm going to go on, order that, and a couple other things real quick. I have another video I'm hoping to make today. I have a video that we're going to make down the road that's going to go with the video that I'm uploading soon, or did upload, where I talked about my cloth pads. We're going to show you how I make my cloth pads in another video. But I'm waiting until I cannot find my fabric scissors, guys. That's what's holding that one up. So I'm on a hunt for fabric scissors in my house today. And that's been a fun adventure, because right about the time I had to do that, Mom had to use the bathroom. And if you don't know, I have to make sure my mom gets in there and gets on the toilet and everything okay. And I have to make sure that everything's okay at the end. So I kind of had to interrupt things there, and then I kind of got sidetracked. So, but overall, I think that's all I want to discuss in this video. I know it's not a very interesting video for many of you. If you want more book reviews on books I've read or books I'm reading, let me know. I can do that, because I do love to read, and I do love sharing my love of books with people. I do have a series I need to contact a friend and let them know that I think that their kid would like. I think their kid might like the alien books. I don't know, but I might suggest them. Okay, guys, with that said, I am going to end here. I hope you all have a wonderful day filled with lots of love and laughter. I hope your saddest day in the future is only as sad as your happiest day in the past, but if it's not, I hope you have the strength to get through it. Catch you next time. Bye, guys.